What's your favorite way to deploy a knife? How's it going, everybody? I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And the knife that I am fidgeting with at the moment is the Petrified Fish PFP03. Now, this knife is sweet, but it's sweet for a different reason. You see, it's not made out of the most premium materials, and the design isn't groundbreaking per se. But it's about putting the right amount of design language and the right kind of materials together to create something that is just, quite honestly, really fun to carry. If you have a favorite way to deploy your knife and you look for knives that have that kind of design that allow you to do that, go down to the comment section, let me know. I'm really curious to see what you say. While you're down there, if you could, high five the like button, that would mean a lot as well. I just wanted to go over this guy. It just recently came in, and I can't sit on this information any longer than I already have to. Guys, it's under 50 bucks, and it's absolutely incredible. Possibly my favorite sub $50 knife this year. Let's check it out. All right, guys, so today we are going to go ahead and skip the box. We're going to skip cutting open the package. We're going to skip all of that. And the reason is that it's a petrified fish. If you've seen one box, you've seen them all. And if you haven't seen one, feel free to check out the last video I did on a petrified fish. I'll put it up there. That being said, this is the Petrified Fish PFP03, also known as the Victor. This knife is absolutely bananas, and every time that I feel like I've run into a budget knife that is just too good to be true, I'm always surprised. There's always something else. There's always something next. So if you're someone who recently missed out on a Vosteed, don't feel too bad, because trust me when I say you will find another knife. This one is sweet. Let's get into it. The blade is K110 with this blue denim micarta handle scales, blue denim micarta backspacer, and this very, very shiny chrome looking deep carry clip that, despite how it looks, and I actually don't think it looks that great, it functions really, really well. There's some tension, but not so much where you can't get it past the seam of your pocket. The screws are recessed in, and that clip is 100% switchable to the other side. So if you're a lefty, congratulations, you can move the clip over. The blade itself is this clip point Bowie style blade, and I think that it just looks so good. And on the show side, you'll see that there is absolutely no billboarding. That's pretty damn sweet. On the other side, there is a tiny bit. You get the V. V is for victory, my friends. And you also get this fuller finger cutout. And here's what's kind of interesting about this. So that finger cutout is only useful if you are right-handed. So you lefties out there might be saying, man, there's a bit of right-hand bias there. But, let's say that you are left-handed. You still have the flipper tab, and you can still use that to thumb flick. So if you're left-handed, this is going to be a thumb flicker slash flipper. And if you are right-handed, it's going to be a flipper slash reverse flicker. And it's running on bearings. And these bearings are ceramic bearings, which means that the action is really, really good. As far as the fit and finish is concerned, the blade is centered on lockup. There is no blade play up, down, left, or right. There's no lock rock. The lock itself is locking up. I would say that that's about 20%, which is adequate. And this knife feels great in the hand. Let's check out the ergos. Now, we're used to seeing finger cutouts, right? Where the manufacturer tells you,
this is where you place your fingers, duh.
In this case, there are finger cutouts, but this is a different type of cutout. That is a bit of beautiful ergonomic magic because it's a step cutout. So it's not super deep, but it steps down because it knows that your bottom 3 fingers are going to be at a different position than your index finger. At the top, we have an adequate amount of jimping. It's not a whole lot. I would actually have preferred, like always, to have more of it. I think all the way up until the apex of that spine would have been perfect. You can't really get a choked up grip past the handle scales because that's not a finger cutout. That is a sharpening choil. But you can trigger pull it. And when you trigger pull it, you can get some actually really, really good refined cutting motions. It's going to be a really great user knife. Has a lanyard hole for those of you who like lanyards. I like lanyards, but I like lanyards on knives that are smaller where it gives you a little bit of extra purchase. In this case, you don't need that extra purchase. This is good. This knife is not a small knife by any stretch, by any comparison. I'll give you an example. Here it is up against a Demco AD 20.5. It dwarfs the AD 20.5. The blade profile is actually going to be a bit taller and a bit longer, and we won't even compare the width on these because, well, shoot, I'll show you why. As far as this is concerned, it is much thicker. But then again, just about everything out there is much thicker than an AD 20.5. Now, does that mean that it's going to be thicker in the pocket? Yeah, but it also means that you're going to get a really confident, comfortable grip on this knife. Micarta as a handle scale choice is absolutely phenomenal. And by the way, if you're interested in picking up one of these, they do have different color for the micarta options out there. They've got black with the black blade. They've got green. I think they've got brown. And everything has that matching backspacer. The micarta feels good. It feels like a denim micarta. And this knife is just a whole lot of knife for the money. How much does it cost? Well, it costs this much. Surprised? Yeah, I was too. Now, is this knife perfect? No, I don't think I've ever encountered a perfect knife. But is it good? Oh yeah. It's more than just good. It's damn good. And I'll stand by that. If you like to flip knives, it's got you. If you like to reverse flick knives, it's got you. If you like knives that you love but you could lose and easily replace, this is it. You could lose this knife, and because of its cost, you could easily replace it. Now, this specific spec with the blue denim and the satin finish is a newer spec for them. It just recently came out. So even though the knife itself is not a brand new design, the spec is with this blue denim micarta. And I gotta say, it pops. It looks great. I absolutely love the fact that the show side of the blade for right-handed people, and most people are, no offense lefties, but I love how that's sterile. There is no markings on that. Now, on the other side, you do get the V for Victor, or V for victory, but it's not obnoxious, and it's actually in a pretty good spot. I don't mind that. I just don't like obnoxious billboarding, and in this case, it's not. If you get really close, it'll say K110 on the V, and that's about it. K110, PFP03, the Victor. This knife is fantastic, and I will recommend this until I'm blue in the face. As blue as this denim micarta, which is phenomenal. Micarta is one of those materials that a lot of people think, oh, micarta is micarta is micarta. No, that's not the case at all. You can get varying feels on micarta. Not all micarta is created equally, because it's not all created the same. It's not all the same. There's paper micarta, canvas micarta, linen micarta. Learn your micartas, and you'll know what I mean. This one is already starting to patina. I've been carrying this. I've had this for about a week, and I haven't put out a video. I know. Look, it's been a busy week, okay? But during that time, I've carried this faithfully, and this knife is great. It feels good. It looks good. It's smooth. The action is phenomenal. If you like to fidget with your knives, this is going to do the trick. If you like to use your knife as a workhorse, this is going to do the trick. I mean, would I baton with it? No, but I wouldn't baton with about 95% of folding knives. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Your mileage may vary. The blade shape looks good. The handle scales are beautifully designed. Those cutouts are really well done, and they increase the ergonomics. They increase the hand feel. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. I don't think I've ever held a knife in this price range that feels this good. The ergonomics are insane, and it's highly attainable. This is not one of those knives that's selling out, but it might start. It's good. And this new variation with the blue denim micarta, that could very well start a buying frenzy. So if you want one of these, here's the good news. Just about anybody out there can buy one. Just about anybody. If you can put a tank of gas in your vehicle, you can buy a Petrified Fish Victor. I really like this knife, and it's one that's getting a lot of carry time right now because it looks good, it's fidgety, it's fun, it's something that I'm not terribly concerned about losing. It's big enough to definitely make its presence known, but not big enough where, you know, you feel like you're carrying a pocket sword. It's just a really great all-around knife. My one gripe is that pocket clip is way too shiny. The chrome on that pocket clip kind of reminds me of like the chrome on Walmart spinners. But the pocket clip is functional. It's highly functional. It works really well, and it doesn't get in the way when you hold it in the hand. It does kind of disappear into the hollow of your hand, which is like what I like. Even if I don't like the look of a pocket clip, as long as it disappears when I hold it in my hand, I'm good. I can live with that. I can move on with life. Now, if you watched this far, I'm about to blow your mind. If you didn't know already, K110 is not some magical mystery steel made by Bowler. K110 is Bowler's version of D2. I know. I didn't say this early on in the video because people are a bit brainwashed. They hear D2 and they all of a sudden say, nope, not for me, not D2, not ever. But all of a sudden you add a K in the front of it, and people just say, you know what? It must be different. It must be better. Here's the facts, folks. It wasn't terribly long ago that D2 was considered a premium blade steel. And then new steels came out, and all of a sudden it was garbage. It was hot garbage, and we were angry about it, and we don't want to see more Chinesium knives with D2. Look, I'm not going to hate on you if that's your opinion, but I do want you to take a deep look at yourself and say, look, did I think of this differently when I heard K110? Now that I know that K110 is basically Bowler's version of D2, and there are some theories out there that K110 has a higher amount of vanadium than regular D2. And not all D2 is created equal. There's CPM D2, there's D2 done by Benchmade. Benchmade actually does a really good job on their D2, by the way. But it's the inconsistency by budget brands when it comes to D2 that leads people to dislike it so much, as well as some of its erstwhile properties. Regular D2 is an ingot-based steel that has inconsistently sized carbides, can make for inconsistencies when you go to sharpen it, but it does have pretty decent edge retention and is very tough. It's semi-stainless. Semi-stainless means that it does have some rust resistance, but it's not going to resist everything. And most steels are not a true stainless. There's Vanex, there's a few different ones that have a really high rust resistance. D2 is just semi, and this one is Bowler K110. So I want you to think about that, guys. I love this knife. Who would I recommend it to? Absolutely freaking everybody. You don't know what I mean? Check it out. It's worth checking out. If you buy one and you don't like it, give it to someone else. Create another knife nerd, because this knife has it all. It's got good action, it's got good deployment, it's got good ergonomics, the materials feel really good. It's got a backspacer, a matching micarta backspacer. You put some mineral oil on this, you get a good force patina going. I'm telling you, this knife is worth every penny, and if they sold it for $30 more, I would still buy it and I would be happy with it. Guys, that's all I got for you today. I'm really excited to look down the road and rank this puppy. If you are to, make sure you smack the like button. And if you watch this far and you're not already, please consider subscribing. Guys, I'm Rollshambo. I'll catch you on the flip side.